Welcome to the second episode of our series on the families and surnames of colonial America. Our travels today will take us from France, Scotland, England, and Ireland to America during the colonial era. We have a lot to get into, so let's get going. I hope you'll join me. Number one, Breeze, and Breeze, and so on. Last week we had a request for Burrow, as in Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. So as a football fan, I was excited to receive a request for a surname associated with yet another NFL quarterback. Drew Brees, who was born in Dallas, Texas in 1979, played for 20 years in the NFL. After graduating from Purdue University with a degree in industrial management, he was taken by the San Diego Chargers in the second round of the 2001 NFL Draft. He was deemed too small, so he was released in 2006. As a free agent, he signed with the New Orleans Saints, where he went on to win the Super Bowl in 2010 and was named the game's most valuable player. He beat Peyton Manning in the Indianapolis Colts that year. Because he seemed to be well received by the Cajun folk, I wondered if Breeze was a French surname. As it turns out, Breeze has at least 4 known origins, but none is traceable to France. First, let's take a look at, in English, it was a nickname for a lively person. In Wales, it was given to a fiery warrior. It could also have been given to an English or Welsh person who lived near a bridge. Still, other folks with the name could have come from Breeze, Germany. He could also be an Anglo-Americanized name for a Slavic person who lived near a birch tree. Given that knowledge, I wasn't too surprised to find 2 early lines that came from Wales and 1 from England. Well, 1 from England and 1 from Wales, and then another one from the Netherlands. Let's start with the line that came from England. Sidney Breeze, born in 1709, died in 1767, was born in Shropshire, England, and relocated to Manhattan, New York. He and his wife Elizabeth had 2 sons, Samuel and Charles, and a daughter named Elizabeth. Their son Samuel moved to New Jersey, where he and his wife Elizabeth Anderson, they loved the name Elizabeth back in those days. After all, there had been a Queen Elizabeth, the first of Great Britain, or I should say of England. She wasn't Great Britain. James became the first monarch known as the monarch or king or monarch, queen, whatever, of Great Britain. But Elizabeth was the Queen of England. And they had at least 10 children. A few years after Sidney Breeze arrived from England, John P. Breeze landed in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. I had some ancestors myself in Basking Ridge. They came from Wales, the country of his birth and rearing. He and Dorothy Riggs, his wife, had at least 9 kids. I also found a family in South Carolina that started with the arrival of William Sebra Breeze from New York. This line actually came from the Netherlands with the immigration of Hendrik Breeze, born in 1650, died in 1696. With all this stated, I'm confident that Breeze represents several colonial families that have roots in England, the Netherlands, and Wales. Number 2, Batty. When I was a kid, the iconic movie Bonnie and Clyde was popular. It came out in 1967. One of the reasons why it was so admired was the performance and on-screen chemistry of the 2 leads, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty. Warren Beatty greeted the world in Richmond, Virginia on March 30th, my birthday. Well, it wasn't my birthday for a couple more decades. His family name Batty is of Scottish or Irish origin, but it's an anglicized form of a Gaelic family name that means the son of a person licensed to sell liquor. While these spellings have been used interchangeably, some folks named Biddy, B-I-D-D-Y, could possibly be descended from a person whose name was shortened from Beatrice or Bridget. Nevertheless, all these spelling varieties originated among the Scots and the Irish. It should go without saying that most Irish, Scottish, and Welsh surnames are found in England, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, and many other places in the British Commonwealth. From the late 18th and all the 19th centuries, England was an industrial magnet that drew people from all over the Isles. In the 19th century, the sun never set on the British Empire because it was so large. Closer to home, Thomas, born 1731, died 1787, was one of the earliest immigrants named Batty that I could find in America. He immigrated from Ireland to North Carolina before 1761. He and his wife Isabella McCorkle had at least 3 young'uns, and I'm confident that Batty, at the end of the day, is a colonial family of Irish, Scottish, or Scots-Irish origin. Number 3, Shamblin. Shamblin is a family name that has morphed into at least 4 different spellings. Literary sources claim that the French surname is derived from Chamb. The diminutive suffix added to it made it mean Little Chamb, which was likely a nickname. I find little support for it being a toponymic or habitational name. I also didn't find it among the traditional names of England, Ireland, Scotland, or Wales, nor is it widely observed today in France. At this point, I wondered if it was even a colonial American family name. But here's what I found. The research showed that it was. As a surname, it seems to have changed spellings at least 3 times in America. The earliest person that I could find on the western shores of the Atlantic named Shamblin or Shamblin, that's CH or SH, was Thomas Shamblin, Shamblin. It's not known where he was born, but he passed away in what would become Prince William County, Virginia. It became a county in 1731, so obviously wasn't a county when he was born there. You might note that his descendants spelled their name differently over the generations. He and his wife Ann Bennett had at least 1 son, Aaron C. Shamblin Sr. During his lifetime, Aaron spelled his name with both the CH and the SH. Jesse Shamblin, born 1759-1798, who was one of Aaron Jr.'s sons, was born in Prince William County, but he loaded up his wagon and with an unknown wife, she's probably known to him but not to us, moved to Spartanburg, South Carolina. His son, James Bundy Shamblin, married Henrietta Anderson, and together they contributed at least 4 children to the growing population in the upstate of South Carolina. In looking toward Europe, I found genealogical records for Shamblin family members in Lincolnshire, England. But a century earlier, Brian Shamblin was born in Azur, France. Now, I might be wrong, but if I were a betting man, this is what the evidence suggests to me. Shamblin, whether it's a CH or SH, was linguistically a French name and most likely belonged to a small French Huguenot family. The Huguenots were a persecuted Protestant community in France. After the revocation of the Edict of Nantes in 1685, which for 87 years had allowed Protestants to live peacefully in the largely Catholic country. With the revocation, bloody persecution picked up, killing an unknown number of people. The exodus of French Protestants resumed. With the fear of persecution a serious push factor, the Shamblin family fled first to England and then across the Atlantic to become colonial Americans of what I believe to be French Huguenot descent. Number 4, Warf. Warf. This family name is not to be confused with the family of the Starfleet commander Warf in the TV series Star Trek: The Next Generation. As with many short family names like mine, Van, Warf seems to have at least 2 origins. One source says that it originated in England as well as Friesland, a large region in Holland. In those places it was attached to a person who lived near a wharf. That makes a lot of sense to me. Another source claims it originated as a toponymic or habitational name from a place identified as Warf in North Yorkshire, England. The name appears in southern Scotland as a spelling variation of the Yorkshire name. They're not too far apart, just miles really, or kilometers. You might note that the English language and the tongue spoken in Friesland are close relatives of each other and are part of the Germanic branch of the Indo-European language family. One of the earliest members of the family was in the colonies before 1775 in Virginia with the birth of Thomas Warf. He was the father of Roger Warf, who was born in Pittsylvania County, Virginia. I was unable to find the names of their spouses. Looking further north, I found information on families named Warf in New England. They seem to have descended from Nathaniel Warf, who, along with his wife, Rebecca Mackworth, had at least 1 son and a daughter. At the end of the day, I'm confident that the Warf family, regardless of how they spell their names, is of Anglo-colonial or Dutch colonial ancestry. Well folks, that's about all I have for you today. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like a free copy of the catalog of surnames and families that we've covered thus far on the Vantage Point, write to me at vantagepoint22@gmail.com and I'll send it to you as a PDF attachment. Until I see you again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.